rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's right.
I'm just pledging your shirt. You know,
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. I went on a cruise that was hosted by Leonard Skinner.
Okay, call the planning board meeting to order for Monday, February 25th, 2019. We do have two agenda items tonight for consideration. We do not at the moment have the meeting minutes, so we'll hold on those until next meeting for consideration. So moving right to item number one, planning board item 2018-21. This is 424 Margaret Street. We actually have a long form seeker for this. No, that's okay. So this is a revised sketch site plan review. Request to demolish the existing McDonald's restaurant, reconstruct a new McDonald's restaurant with dual lane drive-through. Additional site improvements include new parking, trash enclosure, utilities, lighting, and landscaping. The applicant is McDonald's USA, and the plan preparer is Bowler Engineering.
Good evening.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for the warm weather. Yes, Steve Wilson, Bowler Engineering on behalf of McDonald's USA LLC. So when we last left you, the board had several comments regarding, I guess I'll talk about the site first. We heard what you said about the green space. You wanted us to try to get that a little bit closer to code. And we sharpened our pencils, and through a combination of eliminating one parking spot and compressing the drive aisles a little bit, we've essentially eliminated two variances. One was the green space, and we're no longer in this setback. The board also wanted to see additional information. This is the landscaping plan, which was included in your packet, about how we're going to screen. So we have a low berm along this row of parking here, along with 3 deciduous trees, small maples, along with some small shrubs, yews, Jupiters along the bottom. So it'll provide a nice screen from headlights and kind of soften the view of the parking lot from the street. The other issue was the screening of the dumpster. As you can see, we were pretty generous with, again, some all perennials, a mix of junipers and yews and fountain grass around that dumpster to really soften it and cut down on its visibility as you approach the site. We also included in that last submission per the board's request a lighting plan, as you can see, is pretty sensitive for the neighborhood. And the board also made comments about the bike, providing bicycle access. We have added a bike rack to the project. And we also discussions about providing diners views and some outdoor seating for the restaurant. We included a small patio area along the front of the building. So, so the site plans, I think, evolved quite a bit from based on discussions and feedback from the board.
Steve, a quick question.
Sure.
In achieving compliance with the paving setback on the south property line, did that narrow the maneuvering room behind the parking spaces to where it may not be achievable to maneuver through there?
No, an angled parking with that dimension there, that'll be fine. You're not backing straight out, you're backing at an angle, so
Correct.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And that's why the standard is less in a diagonal parking scenario.
And there's a truck turning movement in there well too. You can see why that's the way it's a mount of curving on both sides of the entrances, because they may roll on periodically, so. Nice and clean.
Based on the way the store is laid out, you anticipate all your deliveries at the front of the store?
We're gonna come right in there, and there's a ramp right here, and they load through this back door right here. That's
Okay.
the way it's always done. They don't go through the front doors, it's always this back delivery door.
Okay. But you don't, so you surely anticipate the truck going along the
He's
front
gonna go
door?
this and out, or this and out. Go
He's gonna
like
park, he's gonna park right in front of the store though,
He
right?
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
They usually come during off-peak hours, I would imagine. I never see them, so, yeah, for that reason, yeah.
this. It's not gonna come with the drive-throughs.
No, you don't want them when you,
Yeah,
when you're at peak hours, no. Okay.
Okay. What is that dimension between the drive-through and that parking zone?
That is 18 feet.
18 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, going down through your response letter,
Yep.
so the full environmental assessment form, obviously you've updated that, based on the most current design you have at the moment. I would anticipate you probably, as you move into your final design, will update that and have it complete. And
If there's numbers
If there's-
tweaked, yep,
Yep.
sure.
I believe we have already, we've looked at lead agency request earlier, so I think we should be good there, barring any significant changes in the design, which looks like we're heading in the right direction. It's not that significant. See, the item number 2, in terms of coordination with zoning compliance, so you've eliminated it appears, for the needs for any variances.
Signage, we would still need a variance.
Signage,
Yes.
okay, okay. Have you, I'm assuming you haven't, have you been in front of the zoning board already?
Once, before we got to you, we did make a brief presentation to them, and they said, we're talking to the planning board. So, yes,
Okay, so you'll be revising, going back to them for,
Yes.
for signage and a special use permit?
yep. Because our previous variance applications, that all the other variances, yes, so we'll scale it back to the signage only, special use permit.
Okay, okay. Is that something you're looking, do you have a time frame for when you're looking?
I think we
for
try to be
that?
back in front of them from next month.
Okay. Okay. The only thing
Assuming
I was gonna say,
We can progress seeker, but
that's the only thing you'll wanna coordinate with, is when you have the seeker done. We would not typically finalize seeker until we have a final application in front of us.
does that final application include the variances in the special use permit?
No, no,
Oh.
I mean, a final site design, a stormwater pollution prevention plan and, the building finalized. As we go down through this checklist, you have a number of items you're still working on. We would normally have that finalized in front of us when we go to consider seeker.
I hear what you're saying. There's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing though, that if you're gonna ask us to prepare SWIPs, stormwater plans, detailed design, that's a lot of work. If we don't get our special use permit from the ZBA, then that's really not needed. That means it's all for kind of naught.
Well, that's something to definitely coordinate with the code officer.
Yep.
It's my understanding that a special use permit is something that's by right, it's not like a variance. It's something you still have to prove, and you still have to go through the conditions of the special use permit, but
It's already an allowed use.
It's already,
The current use is that, yeah.
special use permit is something that's permitted underneath our ordinance to do. It's not like a variance that's not permitted under the ordinance. So, I understand what you're saying, Bill. You
The
know,
board doesn't
it's
feel
another-
comfortable, I mean, there's a pretty comprehensive set of plans, and, I mean, a SWIP is a heavy design document that, you know, you're gonna condition any seeker on providing a.
In my mind, it would be deviating from our past practices to, once again, when I look down through this, there's probably, 5, 6 items you're still working on in terms of final design. It's considered a sketch plan. I mean, we'd be deviating from our past practice. That's, what I see. I don't know, anybody else on the board have any?
I don't have enough history with the planning board to
Okay.
make a
That's what we've done
consistency
before.
evaluation.
It is consistent with
Yeah,
what we've
we
done
typically
before.
would not move ahead and approve without
Perfect.
this done. We don't like to do the conditional approvals.
Okay. That would be, once again, keeping it consistent with our past practices.
Okay, I'm still uncomfortable with a special use permit by definition means it's not a by right use. It requires a special use permit.
But it is something permitted by zoning,
That's right,
where a zoning
but
variance
it's not a
is,
by right use.
but zoning is not.
No, I
A
understand.
variance is not.
Okay,
Once again, I think it's something to discuss with the building inspector. I
Will do.
mean, that is a different board,
okay.
Item number 3, I think the checklist, once again, the city checklist, you'll update that per the final
As we
design.
move along, sure.
Yep. Number 4, additional detail to convey screening, design of the front yard for parking. You're presenting the berm with additional plantings, additional screening, The one question that did come up was line of sight, whether, you're comfortable in that design, that there's no driveway line of sight, we're not resolving one issue to create another issue.
You mean if I'm coming out here?
Correct, correct. I mean-
No, the plantings will be far enough and set back so that you can pull to the stop sign and you can see in either direction. Yeah, we wouldn't screen anybody with this stuff, yeah. Good point, but.
Okay. Okay. Item 5, provide an alternative landscape design to reduce impervious space, increase green space, take advantage of the view and natural features of the location. You've addressed a lot of that, I think. In terms of trying to reduce green space, reduce the need for variance. I don't know if the board has any other comments or questions for that item?
You've made some modification to the detention basin? Wasn't it strictly in that?
Yep, it is, as we get deeper into the design of the grading plan and laying things out, yeah, things get tweaked and moved around a little bit, yeah.
Right.
Right now, our plan is to drain majority of the site towards that basin area, yes.
Okay.
The existing trees along the lake, will those be taken
Those will
down?
be taken out,
And then whatever's showing there is what will be there.
exactly. They are a type of elm tree. That's what we use along there.
So the view may be enhanced of the lake.
Yeah, all that scrubby, low-lying vegetation will be taken out, and absolutely, the view to the lake is gonna be much greater, yeah. Especially, I mean, sitting here, yeah, it'll be a clear view to the lake.
And I didn't look, but what type of trees are those bigger ones along the lake there?
That's what I was talking about, they're a type of elm tree.
Oh, I thought you meant
They
what's
look
there now.
Someone
Okay.
elm tree,
Yeah.
cottonwoods and a bunch of things like that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know their condition?
They're reaching the end of their life. They are incredible maintenance issue with the current use. They constantly are dumping branches and, I mean, getting to the point almost of a safety issue.
It's a windy spot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of
absolutely.
like
Yeah.
They take a beating.
So then, while we're on that, so I was curious, you've got these two riprap drainage areas coming from the parking to that stone wall. Do you envision in heavy rain or snow melt, is that water coming towards that stone wall gonna impair the integrity of that wall? On the lake side, right? You've got two.
Talking about these?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
And then.
The idea, though, is an energy dissipator to take the energy out of the flow so that
Yeah.
the water's hitting it perhaps at a high speed, and then as it goes through that,
Through the riprap.
it takes out the energy and spreads it out,
Will it pool at that wall? Okay.
running off.
And then on
It goes
the
downhill from there.
south side, you've got the third riprap.
Mhm.
Yes, looks on our plan like it then has like a, like a 28 or 30-foot drainage.
That's existing.
That's existing.
We're just
Okay.
trying to match existing drainage patterns as much as we can.
Okay, so it's going from riprap into an existing
That's
ditch,
right.
essentially.
There's currently a culvert there, actually, that's partly clogged and stuff at the outlet, so, but we're making it surface drainage, less maintenance.
Culvert coming out?
Where that goes exactly, I could never tell you, but we're not gonna use it anymore.
What's the distance from the edge of property or that stone wall to the lake? I didn't see that. I mean, it must
From
be
here
18
to the
feet.
lake?
Yeah, it must be 18 or something.
No, I mean, you get a sense here, these parking spaces are about 20 feet, so 40 to the property line, another, I don't know, you're pushing 100 feet probably.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like one of the concerns that that was raised last month was people hang out and sit there on the beach like it's their private beach and stay
Mhm.
there all day. Is anything being done to alter that use? I mean, there's no new fence going in. There's no.
I'm not sure it's something I can address with a site plan issue, as more as it's gotta be an enforcement issue. No, the plan was not to put up a fence along there, I don't think, just to
Kill your view.
screen off the property or
Yeah, which-
divide it
yeah.
off, but
That issue may not
Have
be
to step up
addressed in the
enforcement.
site plan, in
Yeah.
this site plan. Okay.
somebody tells me with this investment in the property, the enforcement of that is going to step up by the operator to make sure that
Yeah.
that's not, his brand new parking lot and store is not being used to access the beach.
It's by the property survey, you show you don't own the beach. Is
That's
that-
right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, this is our property line here.
Is the ownership outlined on who owns the front of that?
No, that has not been identified. I
Is
mean, I
it
guess
the
that's.
low level mark? Low water level or?
You mean, where's the property line? It's almost sits on that, but, who owns it? I don't know. Who owns the rest of Lake Champlain? State of New York?
State of New York.
Yeah, so it's probably their land.
City of
Once-
Plattsburgh
Okay.
owns half of the bay.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
People can use that beach, I guess, obviously. You just can't park in the town's parking lot.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. So item, do you have any other
I'm good.
discussion, Kurt? No?
I'm good.
Okay. Item 6, continue to explore pedestrian access from the northwest side of Margaret Street to the building. You're continuing to work on that. I know that the Community Development Office provided some additional paperwork, some additional comments.
Yeah, we got the email, I guess it was forwarded from DOT, and the board saw that email?
No, this board has not seen that.
Oh,
Or,
so-
well, it's in your packets.
Yeah, we have it.
I included.
where they outlined their reasons why it's
Yeah,
needed.
that's included, if you look at the planners report in February, I included, those comments. Right here.
Any, yeah, that's it. And he does make somewhat of a lengthy argument for the need for the pedestrian crosswalk. I guess when I read that, my first question is, well, why haven't they put the pedestrian crosswalk in? McDonald's has been there a long time.
I'm not sure what the historical aspect of that has been, but in terms of the application we have in front of us now, you know, it does become more of a question. So once again, I think, you know, out of fairness, you just got this, you know, your application or your response back to us probably crossed.
It did, we got this after we, almost,
Yeah.
I think it was like a day after or something.
So I just really want to confirm you have it, and then you have an opportunity to review it and respond accordingly.
I'll take a look at it further.
Okay. Review on-site stormwater management design and provide to the board.
It's ongoing, yep.
Yep, and you've obviously started to identify some different things you're gonna need in your grading and stuff, so that's ongoing. Provide design alternative to the straight box present proposed building design incorporating dimensional features to break up the walls. And you're continuing to look at that and review options for that response. Provide alternative to dumpster location or provide sufficient details as to what it will look like. You have provided the landscape plan to provide additional screening, although we're still working on, I'm assuming, incorporation of the dumpster design and the building design to make them.
That would be the ultimate intent, have similar, the hardy board siding in that same horizontal pattern to give it blending right with the building.
Okay, so that's, once again, continued design that you're gonna come forward with. Coordinate with appropriate city departments in writing. It looks like,
ongoing.
yep, ongoing. One of the comments or questions that did come up with your turning movements and your patterns was fire department access. If you can coordinate with community development just to ensure that you know, the local fire department has had the opportunity to address any of their concerns or not. I don't know if anybody had any comments.
Yeah, my only observation is that it could be difficult for a fire truck to maneuver through the southeast portion of the parking lot, coming in from the south entrance. That might be a little tight. But the fire chief will make that determination.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit amount of curving up on the northern one.
Yeah.
I think as long as, once again, give you the opportunity to coordinate with the community development
Yeah.
and, you know, the fire chief so that we have their appropriate response and
Okay.
we don't have any last minute things that come up, create issue. Provide site lighting and photometrics plan. You provided that. I think overall, and it seemed like it contained the lighting on your site. I didn't think there was anything.
It'll be a marked improvement from the current lighting.
From current. I don't know, was there any other questions in that
No,
regard?
that misaddressed
Okay.
my previous.
No more than needed. That's good.
Provide potential locations for bike racks, address bicycle access to the site from bike lanes on Margaret Street. You included a bike rack on the site plan. I don't know, is there any other question in regards to that initial comment? No other questions? Okay. Provide a plan for outdoor seating, take advantage of the views. And you did provide an outdoor patio on the front of the building.
You have firmly placed dining room table type of thing and chairs, or just movable ones out there?
No, they'd be all seasonal, I mean, all season type of.
All season, that's what I
yeah.
figured. Okay.
So when you say all season, you
All
mean
season.
like
They can take the
solid?
weather.
They remain there.
Yeah, in
Well,
place.
it's not permanent in and outside. It's
In
not.
place, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Where you gonna move them? Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it won't be a place to store them, so.
No.
Okay, there they stay.
Okay, that pretty much generally makes it through your review letter, or your response letter. know, when I look down through it, you probably have, you know, around half of them that you're continuing to work on, half of the responses you continue to work on or additional information. The other half of the responses, you know, you've provided legitimate response to, and I think the board generally, once again, appreciates your consideration for a number of the items. Does the board have any other additional
I don't.
comments,
No.
responses? Board like what you're seeing?
Yeah, improved.
Okay. The one thing I could say, other than, you know, once again, to keep with our past practice in regards to seeker, it might be advisable to go to the zoning board like you've been doing with us, the special use permit, maybe to show them the update.
To bring them up to date.
Yeah, just to, just like
you're
you,
surprised when they get the.
just like you're doing with us, and so that, you know.
It's a good point. We'll work to get on the March agenda, so we're working on a parallel path.
Yeah. Yep. Now that, once again, you're heading down in the path of a design for the planning board that appears like you're getting, you know what I mean, where you're not gonna see major revision comments here.
That's, I think, the important part, that we can dive deeper into the SWIP, stormwater, finalize the grading, utilities, so we're not redoing things down the road.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
That's fine.
I don't know that there's a motion tonight. I don't think so. I mean, this is
It's
just.
a continuation.
Yeah, it's just a continuation. You have, you know, general board discussion here, per item. And did you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I think you kind of, you clarified things. I
Okay.
think the comments are more or less the same, but just some of these you want to see more responses, actually. More tweaking of the plans, yeah.
And some of the things you tell us,
Yeah.
you're actually working on them still.
Yep.
So,
Stormwater, yeah.
okay. Well, thank you very much, and
Thank you. See you in, you may see us in March. It's, the submission deadline is quite far out, so I'm not sure with the SWIP and stormwater report and bringing the plans up to design standards, we'll be here, but we're gonna do our best, so hopefully back in March.
well, surely, I mean, with some of these items like the building design and you know, the dumpster design, if you have those to come back to us in advance, it'd be nice to. If
Yeah,
it
I hear
falls
you.
within
That-
your.
That seems to be the kind of the, I guess that and that issue and pedestrian access for the crosswalk are still somewhat of the subjective esoteric issues that we still gotta discuss versus the rest of it's kind of hard engineering, SWIPs and grading and all those other issues, so it's kind of.
Even, well, my opinion, I don't know if the rest of the board, but even more of a reason I'd rather see you come with those, you know what I mean, if it's possible in March, I would hate at a final design where you have all the hard stuff that you've got a great, you know, your
Makes
site
sense.
design's there and then you're held up because of building color. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a thought.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Yep.
Our next applicant has communicated with us running late. He said he will be here at this point, probably 10 to 15 more minutes. I don't know if the board wants to leave or that's up to you guys.
So the next applicant is running a few minutes behind. Does the board have any objection to waiting, or do we want to?
Perhaps just a brief recess for 10 or 15 minutes until he's able to make it.
Is that something that someone is willing to?
Buying pizza?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll make him bring pizza.
Is that something someone wants to?
Work out a deal.
Yeah.
We're only authorizing somebody else to be lead agency. Is that
In
basically what?
No, in this case, in this case, we're actually performing the environmental review for the project.
Okay.
So, maybe it makes sense, you know, this is our second item, planning board application number 2019-01 for 90 Cumberland Ave. We have a long form seeker, this is a seeker review only. So there's no site plan, no subdivision, no other action being taken by this board. So it's just seeker review only of the project involving construction of a small boat marina at Wilcox Dock consisting of docking and anchoring for 28 boats of 26 feet in length or less. The project includes paving of 3,100 square feet of the existing healthy lung trail. The applicant is the city of Plattsburgh. The plan preparer is Andrew Duran with the Department of Public Works.
What have we done in the past?
What's that?
Do we wait for people who?
In the past, I think we have given some time for
Okay.
people if they once again made reasonable notice that they're
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
either
Is
coming
there
or
stuff
they
we can
needed to
talk
run
about
back.
that we need to talk about beforehand,
Well, I think
or is it gotta be?
couple items, and I think we reviewed some of this in the pre-meeting.
Yep.
Obviously, we have OGS letter and a Georgia Pacific letter on file now with us. The Georgia Pacific letter expresses specific concerns in regards to proximity of the boat launch to their water intake. That's number one. In OGS's letter, that's actually who Georgia Pacific's letter went to, so they responded back saying that, you know, the environmental review is ongoing. There's a number of agencies outlined in our binders here for the application. The one other thing OGS did point out, and one of the reasons that this is a long form seeker, is our proximity to Cumberland Bay, the historic bay, and they require some level of SHPO review / response to their permit action. In the past, you know, we have, as planning board, we have requested the same thing out of applicants where we've had long form review. You know, I think we could go down through specifically and point out applicants even along that side of the city where they've been on the lake, and we've asked them to go back to SHPO for review comment before we consider seeker. So I think that would be appropriate here as well.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else on the board has any other.
Or if you should do that for McDonald's too.
I sort of thought that that was part of the past discussion.
Oh.
Do we have any housekeeping? Annual meeting or any?
Actually, yes, I do need to get an idea of who wants to go to the meeting, the conference, the planning conference, New York Planning Federation Conference. It's in April, I think it's the 22nd, the 24th.
Lake George?
Yes, you expressed interest, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if we can swing just a touch more funding. I don't know if that's gonna be possible. Right now, we can fund maybe one day, the one day only for a couple people, not the whole conference.
28th and 29th.
Marissa has expressed interest in going. She's very insistent that she'll pay herself her own hotel stay, everything. But I just wanna see if anyone else is looking to attend, including you. I know I know you had called and asked about it. There is some information there that might be helpful. Unfortunately, the most helpful information for a new member would probably be on the day that they don't have the one-day membership registration, on the first evening.
So I'll probably go. I can get my own funding through the college. But do you still need to register me? Or
If
should I just
you're, I mean,
register
if the
myself?
college is funding you, I would assume the registration would go to the college.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I can if you need me to.
That's fine. I'll get on. I'll do it. I'll get on it.
It's
Where's that held, Shalice?
Sagamore Resort, which I think is Lake George.
Ooh, that's a nice place.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sure.
Yes,
We'll have
you have
Ethan
to
run the
stay awake
office.
for the entire secret training.
So, I don't know if I could just get, hopefully tonight, possibly, preferably, an idea of exactly how many people are interested in going, then I can see exactly how much more funding we might try to raise.
You're not going? You can use a break. Yeah.
I want to go to code training for a week.
Oh, that's right.
Planning board meeting on the
Poor guy.
28th of April.
There should be, yeah.
Methane,
Unless
air.
there's 4 Mondays. Oh, no, it's on 22nd. There are 5 Mondays.
21st, maybe 23rd?
No, it's
Does
the
it
28th or
something?
29th.
Oh, I did it wrong.
Good question.
The 28th through the 30th. Looks confusing.
The
Checking
pre-day,
is Sunday. Checking is Sunday.
No,
There's a full day on the 29th. and there's-
So the like, the evening activity is, the night before.
Which is the 29th.
Yeah.
And then the full day registration is the 29th, and then the full length registration is the 28th through the 30th.
Yeah.
I think the most helpful trainings for a new member would probably be the evening of the 28th. Unfortunately, they don't have a one-day registration for that date. The one-day registration is only for the 29th. I know some of you
Do the
are.
whole thing or nothing, basically. Is that
Yeah.
the essence?
Yes, but I don't know that we would be able to even try to swing the whole cost. I don't know if we'd be able to, let's just see interest level, and then maybe we'll see what we can do funding-wise, if we're able to get anything more, but. Would you be interested in attending if it's?
Alright.
Yeah, I don't want to self-fund though.
You're right. Only if it's a full training? I just don't know that the full day, the one day makes sense.
Well, I appreciate
You know. I mean, there is helpful stuff there, the seeker is the second day, right?
yeah, I think so.
So that would be helpful, it's just the full day. Some of the other ones aren't. I wish I had the schedule in front of me.
I didn't, I wasn't able to find the schedule on the website last time I checked, but that doesn't mean they haven't put it up since then.
Yeah, I haven't found it either every time I've checked,
Yeah, the only place I have it is the brochure.
which I stole from you.
What's the cost per attendee for all conference?
When I was doing the cost for just me and Eva, it was 1,500. But I think that included like meals and incidentals and everything.
How much?
So about $750 per person for the whole,
Including food?
including meals
Good.
and incidentals.
There you go.
The hotel stay was, I think,
Gotta go.
$250, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then the registration.
feed me,
area was
you feed me and I
$150
will go.
And then
The
the
registration was
for the
like,
conference was $240 or $220.
I think it was $250 for like the whole thing, and it was like $240 for one day.
Yeah, the price difference for the registration is,
Yeah, they clearly want you to go for the whole thing.
it's the hotel cost that drives up the cost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was around $750 per person for the full conference.
Plus lodging and meals.
That's including the lodging and meals. I think just registration for the one day is like $260-ish per person. Anybody else interested in attending? You look like you're mulling it over, Rick.
No.
No?
but I've been to a number of them in the
John?
past.
No, I'm
No
good.
interest?
No.
And Derek, I know we talked before, you were interested in the one day. If we're able to get the funding, do you want the full 3-day?
Ooh.
I can't guarantee that.
Which is
Monday.
what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
It would be a Sunday evening through Tuesday morning,
Okay.
or Tuesday afternoon. By the time you get back home, it's pretty much the whole Tuesday.
Go for the fun, go for it.
28th
You're
through
the man,
30th.
go for it.
Let me look and see. No, I can't be there Sunday.
Cannot be there Sunday.
No. But I could do Monday.
Monday. Okay, so one day. Yeah, you stop calling Reginald Reg. That's all of my business. Any other business? Guess
I don't think so.
I have a question about something you guys were talking about upstairs. The plant's concern about fuel in the water so close to their intake pipe. The intake pipe is 8 feet below water, the water line.
Floaters.
Fuel flows.
Floater.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. That was their concern?
That was one of their concerns, I think, in the letter. Do you have that? Should this, that
Which
letter?
one, the GP one?
Yeah, oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, so if you look at the first bullet point, they use petroleum and sewage.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, so which thing I thought.
I hate to say the intake is probably not that great anyway.
What's that?
The
What,
water they're
their
taking in right
intake?
now isn't
Nah.
that great.
Nah.
Not gonna
No,
make
it's
it
raw
worse.
turbid water.
Pretty much their own fault.
And I think Andrew
Yeah.
was, don't quote me on this, but I think Andrew was talking about, the plan including signage saying no dumping. So, you know, people will still dump sewage, but at least that will minimize it.
What,
They
the
were
sign?
planning on putting some type of cord
Yeah.
around it at a certain distance.
Yeah.
Hey,
What? Yeah, that sign's gonna help.
Come on up.
Except for days.
Good evening. So what are you doing? Good, so we're just generally discussing the application in front of us, you know, the fact that we're only doing seeker review.
Yep.
There's no site plan or subdivision action or anything like that, strictly environmental review.
Right.
With that said, I don't know if this letter from GP and the OGS response came in the middle of this, or?
A little bit of both. So actually, initially, we submitted, as part of the OGS plan, we have to notify property owners, neighboring property owners. So we submitted to GP. GP actually contacted me. We set up a meeting, went over their concerns. I actually have an email from them, you know, addressing all the concerns and basically what we would do to minimize it. They just had to send a response to OGS to make sure everything got itemized out. So I am aware of this, and you have
Okay.
things that we're gonna do.
Now, in OGS's response, they make reference to getting a SHPO
Yes,
response?
I actually do already have a response from SHPO for negative declaration, so they have no jurisdiction over the project. So,
Okay, so you have that
Yes.
response as well?
Yep.
Okay. So ultimately, it would typically be the response that, you know, we have those formal responses in writing.
Yep, and I can actually, some of them, I mean, the OGS one I just got today, I think SHPO was last week, end of last week, so I can forward all those on you guys. And
Does it give you heartache if we make an actual determination next month, at next month's meeting?
And no, I kind of planned for a 2-month process anyways.
Once you have all
So,
that?
yep.
Okay, okay. Once again, it's good that you have all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
responses, it sounds like, and they're all
Yeah.
there, it just needs to
Yeah,
be.
no, like I said, I plan on a 2-month process, so.
Okay, I think we just squeaked under the time frame for lead agency responses. This meeting actually would be our
31st day.
31st day qualifying, so it probably doesn't hurt to
Right.
give it that little bit extra time
Yep.
for the hard look.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from DEC, they're the only agency that I've heard nothing from, so I wasn't sure if they wanted involvement.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
On the seeker?
Yep, on the seeker, I mean, truthfully, just like our last applicant, you know, we typically review seeker when we have a complete
Done.
application.
Mhm.
I would say this is probably one of the most complete
Very
binders
nice, Very nice.
You know, detailed and
Yep.
indexed that we've received, you know.
So I was on, you don't have it in front of you, but 4 of 13, page 4 of 13 on the seeker. Does the proposed action include new non-residential construction? I think would be yes, right?
I guess yes. The reason I probably took notes is because we're not actually constructing anything on the land.
Yeah.
So it is new construction out in the water. So I guess, yeah, you can answer yes to that.
And then, same page, project operations, would the proposed action cause or result in alteration of increase or decrease in size of or encroachment into an existing wetland, water body, shoreline, beach, or adjacent area? It does seem like we're yes on that also.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah, I had that circled. There's one.
Just the planning of the moorings, right?
Yeah.
Is
Yes. Yeah, I
encroachment in
guess,
water
yeah.
body, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking more of the actual trail itself when it came to that.
And then will, same section, next page, proposed action cause or result in disturbance to bottom sediment. Right, will the planning of the moor, I mean, it does seem like we disturb the sediment when we do it. I don't know that any of these things are a problem, right? We just want accurate paperwork.
I'd have to look into that one, because I don't know if it's
Okay.
like a continuous,
Yeah.
if they're asking for a continuous action there, or if it's just a one-time.
Okay. And then I was also curious about stormwater and where that's going, but I haven't looked at any of the maps yet.
Much have changed. I want to disturb them a little bit.
So from the actual parking area, right, which will be is going from gravel to pavement, is that
Nope,
right?
everything is staying the same.
As is, yeah.
Oh,
As
that
is.
all stays the
Yeah,
same?
it's all
Yeah,
as is, so there'll
there's
be
not
no
much,
change in
there's not
stormwater.
much pavement out there right now.
Right, right,
It's
right,
actually,
sorry.
more of a broken
It's the
up
trail being
asphalt
paved,
Yeah,
not the
so
parking
we're
lot.
taking the existing trail and making it ADA compliant and paving it.
Okay. I noted a couple others that I thought.
Andrew, what is the healthy lung component of this? What is that?
So, geez, back in, I think, 2001, the city got a grant from the state to build what's called the Healthy Lung Trail.
No
So
kidding.
basically, it's a walking trail, and they have different workstations set up. So you come to like station one.
On
and they've
workout?
got- Well, yeah, they've got beams that you can walk across, and there's placards that tell you what to do, and then there's another one where there's a bench that tells you to do a certain type of sit-up. So basically, it takes you to the end of the point, and then.
Kind of
takes
like
you
the
back.
new park out at Lapeer Lane, way
Yes.
out there, like that?
Yep.
Ah, okay, that's nice. All right.
Yeah, it's very underutilized, not a lot of people even know it's there.
Yeah,
So,
no, I didn't. I
hopes
go
of-
there all the time.
Yeah, hopes of paving it and, getting more people out there.
It's not lit now, but it will be.
Correct, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put, I don't know if you've ever been out at East Point, when they redid that park, they put, I think they're about 3 foot tall
Yeah.
light bollards, so we're gonna put those along the walk path.
Yeah, that should help get people there. Open up the time a bit.
That's cool. I like that. Okay. I had a feeling. I didn't want to make that assumption. Thanks.
So, I mean, is there any potential for a boat wash dry station?
So if something like that were to be put in, that would be put in over at the boat launch. The boat launch is actually permitted and run by DEC. So that was actually a question that we had from Army Corps. So
Okay.
if something like that were to be put in, that would be at the request of DEC, and DEC would be responsible for getting the permits for that.
What are you thinking, invasives or something
Yeah.
like that?
Right?
Like
I
we
mean,
have-
as we're
yeah.
putting in new
Crew dock,
marinas, we
yeah.
should be installing stations.
So,
Yeah.
for instance, we had an issue, I'm not sure if any of you guys heard of it, with all of the speedboats coming in and out, the bass boats, they wash a lot of the sediment away from the launch. And we had some issues where people were, with the low water, they backed their boats down and their trailers would get stuck on the edge of the ramp. So
Yeah,
we actually.
Been there.
Yeah, we actually had to contact DEC for them to fill out the permit in order for, we offered to do the work, but we couldn't go do the work without DEC getting the permit because they're the ones that are permitted for
Yeah.
that launch. So anything that's done in conjunction with that, DEC is responsible for.
I got nothing else.
So ultimately, it looks like response back on the, formal response back in regards to Georgia Pacific's comments, coordination with them. The SHPO letter, which sounds like you have it in hand, you just gotta put it on file.
So you want me to type up a formal response to them for you guys?
Yeah,
Because
just.
at this point, OGS sent it, but OGS isn't looking for a response until they actually go through the permit process.
I was gonna say, they make reference to the city's review process. in
Yeah, so
their-
I called her about it this morning when I got the email, and she goes, well, you don't have to answer that yet. She goes, I just wasn't sure if you guys had a copy of it yet, which, you know, just the back and forth with them, I didn't actually have the formal letter. So now that I have it, I can do a formal response, but she said at this point it wasn't necessary on their end.
Probably, since we have this open letter that's in our
Yeah.
file now, if we have a good response from you, I think that goes a long way, just to make sure we have a complete file.
Okay.
Understanding you're gonna go through
Yeah.
another permitting process to, to obtain those permits.
Will you be dedicating a parking area?
Yeah, and actually, what's probably not shown on that plan is, we have an updated map, based on Army Corps, comments. So basically, if you're looking at the map, on the left-hand side, there's a light pole in the middle of the parking lot, that's gonna be the center. We'll have 28 parking spaces, for regular parking, and then we did 3 extended for, possible, trucks with trailers. So in no way does it impact or hinder in front of GP's building. GP's property is actually, it's a whole separate property. So they have a property line that runs along the face of the building. They have their own access down off of Cumberland Ave, but instead of unlocking the gate, they just come around.
The gate.
Yeah, so they were concerned about people parking in front of their building, them not having access to it. So we're gonna, show on the map where the parking for this facility will be, and then we're gonna put up some no parking signs in front of their building to make sure nobody's parking in front of it.
Just to clarify, although, once again, there's a letter here exempting the action, or the review or the project from municipal zoning and planning guidelines. I'm assuming that this environmental review and seeker action is the best way to complete environmental review for your other permits.
Yes.
So that, you know what I mean, those other permits require seeker.
Yes,
And
so
that's-
DEC requires, I'm assuming OGS, obviously OGS will want.
Sure. So being a local agency, this was deemed the best way to review.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments, questions?
I had a curiosity about being a navigable waterway. Do we have any responsibility in maintenance of, like, the lighting system for navigation ships? We have a couple lights, one there and one over at Edgewater.
Right.
I was just curious.
So the actual, anything in the water, I'm assuming would be part of Canal Corporation. Canal Corporation maintains, which actually, there's some old mapping that shows there's a channel that goes up Plattsburgh Bay for all the
Yes.
larger boats. Anything in there would be controlled by Canal Corporation. But I don't believe the city would have any control over any of that.
Okay, but you don't have an obligation to, the markers are actually on land,
Okay.
like the Edgewater that I referenced. It's closer to Margaret Street, but it's a guide for the ships.
Right,
that
coming in
and
and
out.
come towards
Yeah.
it. Right. I'm not sure maintenance of that one.
Yeah,
But as far as I know, there aren't any on this property that we have maintenance of,
yeah.
or put any in. And Canal Corporation hasn't requested anything.
Nothing, okay.
Well, if there's no further comments, Andrew, you probably generally have an idea what we need. And
Yep.
I think, next month we'll come back, take a look at this, and I think we can go down through the review.
Okay.
Okay.
Good work, thank you.
Thank you.
Good project,
Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Okay, any other items before we adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
I do have one last item, I think, if we can confirm for the record on the last application, I believe SHPO was a response in earlier presentation, but I'm not 100% sure. If we can confirm that, I mean, as part of our seeker review, we should make sure that the applicant is,
I don't think it was.
okay.
I could be wrong. absolutely.
I have a question about the MLD building. We saw that once, but kind of disappeared.
That was finalized.
What,
Was it
Subdivision?
finalized?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
we-
the
the
week
post
I was
office one
sick.
over there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We approved
Was
it.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you been?
No, I was sick around.
Oh,
I think.
no, you were, that did come back, I think,
Yeah.
and I think they had addressed a lot of those items
Okay,
that we
Yeah.
had commented on.
good.
Yep.
It was finalized. It was signed
Okay.
off on. We signed it.
Okay,
So is the city plan to put that on the market and sell it?
I know, right now, MLD down on Green Street, they had to move out of those
They
buildings, so they
back up
moved
here.
back into that building for
Oh.
now. I think it depends more on the Reeves Lane construction that they're doing, right? Is it Reeves?
Okay.
Or that-
To keep the
Yeah.
Go figure.
To keep
Office?
the grant for to keep the grant to tear down Green Street, they
Yeah.
had to be out of there by a certain date.
Oh,
And so, since Reeves Lane hasn't started construction yet, they said we gotta go there. So they can keep the money to tear that down.
But the plan, I think, ultimately is yes, to put it back on the market eventually.
yeah.
Okay.
Right. You
Well-
got a plan, Rick?
No, someone had asked me about it, and I.
Yeah. I hadn't heard anything.
so, we have a motion to adjourn with a second,
Yeah, exactly.
all in favor? Aye.
Wait, are we doing a roll call?
Roll call. Oh, my.
Well, at least you guys adjourned. The town, usually with the adjournments, they just kind of take off.
Because Phil's still
Just
talking.
trying to hold us to protocol, that's all.
That's okay. We'll
Yeah.
hold the,
That was 5 ayes, right?
yeah.
Five
We'll hold
ayes.
the roll call for the next
Oh,
official
dear.
Okay, all right.
application. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.